Why, hello everyone, and today I'm back with my review series, where we review some of our favorite monsters, or whatever. Sorry the fan is on. We are currently in the goddamn heat wave that you've probably been hearing all over the news. So currently, my current objective in life is to stay cold and to make sure I eat as much food as I can, because I have my wisdom tooth, I have one of my first wisdom tooth taken out this week. And as you probably can guess by now, we are reviewing the Monsterverse series Rodan, Scylla, and Ion Dragon. These are recent pickups from me, and they are probably one of the last few figures I get before I leave my home state of New Jersey for Georgia. So these will have an important place in my heart as a history of me being here. So why don't we start off with the first one. Rodan here is a very neat figure, or toy, whatever you want to call them. I keep calling these figures because almost everything I get now is a figure, but yeah, I really like this thing. I've heard some grievances about it, mainly due to the fact of its sculpting, mainly its head and the wings, but it's a $10 toy, and for what it is, it's actually very nice. Very nice, as you can see. This is, by the way, also the only toy we're reviewing today that actually come with a single accessory, that being these tank, which is confusing because if you've seen the film, he does not interact with tanks, although he probably did, but not when he was mainly on screen. He was mainly interacting with the fighter jets, the carrier copter, and the USS Argo, which is strange because they did a Ghidorah figure for the first series that they did for the first series of the Monsterverse line, and he didn't come with anything. They've had like multiple times to actually give us like carrier helicopter or the Argo, but they just didn't. That confuses me. Anyways, let me continue. New Rodan is a very comfortable height. He is, I don't know, I think these are 6-inch figures. I use American or Metris, I don't know, but it's very nice for what it is. It's really a good toy. I can't say anything bad about it. And to have a very goodly sized Rodan in my collection, because the only Rodan I've had was the Titan Tech Rodan, and that doesn't really size up well with anything. So it's nice to have a decently good sized Rodan. And for articulation, he has full head articulation. He can rotate his head. He has full wing articulation. He can move his wings around, although this makes no sense. You're not really gonna move his wings like that. The wing parts are actually detached from the box. You can actually closely see the outlining of one of the pegs. You have to plug them in. And he has leg articulation. He can move his legs around, and also has a sideways joint, so if you want to move his legs in, you can. It looks kind of weird at this angle. Of course, since it's also on a ball joint, he can also move around, but you're not really going to. His legs are on a swivel, so they can move around, but like I said, you're not really going to use that for anything, and they're all on a hinge. His tail is also strangely on a swivel joint as well, but it's also only painted one back here. It's actually the only thing painted back here. It looks like the tail should be swiveled back to match this, but it's honestly not meant to be. But for a rating, I give this an 8.5 out of 10, maybe an 8.7. Then it's very good, although I wish it came with the Argo or something instead of this tank. It doesn't do anything. One saw color. It's a unique tank mold, so this is something that they decided to put in. But very good. I would recommend pick this up if you see it. And the next one we are reviewing is the Godzilla and Kong King Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, Scylla. And this is one that was really surprising to everyone because we were told in like some press interviews that we probably wouldn't get a Scylla figure due to how complicated it would be to have it in the $10 range. But it seems as if either they were able to convince the higher ups to make one, or they got a budget increase for the $10 figure lines, and we were able to get a Scylla figure having a very nice point of articulation. It has head articulation that's on a ball joint, so you can move it all the way around, and you can even have it look in several directions. And of course up and down. It goes up that high and down that high. But I mean, like, to make it look like it's looking at somewhere else. Of course, as you can probably guess, the legs are all on hinge and swivel joints, mainly at the base. The only ones where you're really going to be able to pose it in front are the front legs, and everything else is on a mix between a swivel and ball, not a swivel and hinge joint. So all the legs are like this, and you can imagine that trying to pose this thing is a bit of a nightmare. But you can easily get it. Also, in the packaging, it was positioned. That's not what I want to do. The entire thing of it was positioned like this in the packaging, and you can tell when you handle this thing that it really feels like it wants to go back to that. But it feels like it wants to go back to that since that's how it was most likely made. And well, of trying to get into packaging seemed like a more of a priority than actually having it be posable. But that's not really a problem. Maybe depending on what space you have. But it should be fine considering what it is. Like I said, this one does not come with any form of accessory, which makes sense. Scylla really doesn't have anything. You couldn't give it anything unless you wanted, and there goes the fan, the AC. You can't really give it anything if you wanted, but maybe a plane could have been nice, but again, most of the budget probably went to the articulation. And for last and not least, we have the Ion Dragon. This guy has been eluding me since it came out. We have been mainly going to different Walmart and Targets to find this guy. My friends have tried to find this guy. I was thinking about going to Walmart. That's not Walmart. Walmart doesn't really have Godzilla stuff anymore, but Target has a lot of Godzilla stuff from the Monsters line, but they didn't have any of this guy. I didn't bother to check the local Walmart near me due to one factor, that not Walmart Target near me, because, well, one, the Target rarely restocks any of the Godzilla stuff. But tell me why that Target, infamous for not really restocking anything in its toy section or any other section, had this guy in stock. One, I do want to know, only one, but he was here, and my god, am I happy that I was able to pick him up. And dear god, this is one of my favorite Playmates figures. It is so beautiful. The detailing, although minuscule, again, this is a $10 toy, is great. The articulation, he has full head articulation, and you can go any direction you really want. I'm trying to, you can tell I'm holding this with one hand. He has full arm articulation. His hands can actually be on a swivel, so his hands can actually swivel all the way. So can his legs can in fact also bend, which is strange to me because that makes no sense. His tail is also obviously attachable. The one thing that I do want to somewhat critique about the design is that it doesn't have the 3 points on it, like the clutch claw on its tail. But that's easily looked over. For each jaw does not open or close. It stays opened, and also like with Rodan, the wings had to be attached in the packaging. It actually gave me a shock for a second, because in order to distinguish which wing is which, because they look the same, and unlike Rodan, it wasn't obvious. Yes, they made the pegs on them different sizes, and my dumbass didn't realize that they were different sizes until I was like took the other one and found it. But yeah, this is a really good toy. I know I said that was all of them, because they really are. This is honestly Playmates at its best, and I don't know what to really say other than this is an amazing toy. If you really like the MonsterVerse Godzilla stuff in general, you should really start thinking about picking these up, or trying to more effort to pick these up. But this is all amazing. Everything about them is just so good, so great. I just cannot recommend it. Like I said, he doesn't come with any accessories. Most like all the budget went into his articulation and poses, but I don't really care. Alright, and now it is time for everyone's favorite part about these types of videos, size comparison. As many of you know, I am currently in the process of moving to Georgia from New Jersey, and I don't have that much that I would use to scale, but here we go. For first, we have the Hammond Collection Jurassic World Dominion Dilophosaurus, the Jurassic World Survivor Series Mutodon, the Jurassic World Survivor Series Cryolophosaurus. I am holding him because he cannot stand on his own. And lastly, we have Albedo from Overlord. I don't know what this alpha is called. I think it might be Cherry Blossom. I don't remember, but let me go get the other guys. So in the meantime, as I grab these other figures and just do the size, I'll probably put in some music around. Probably mute this part of the audio just to have the music. So yeah, enjoy that. And that is the review. And like I said before, I've really enjoyed these figures. Recommend buying them, and for the price of $10, they're not that bad. And I hope to see you all in the next review. The next reviews will be these damn cards.
Good question! How about I leave you alone with this guy instead?